The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. Probably should have added myself to the stage while I had the chance to do it, but here we are. It's time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here today on this Tuesday. Sorry I missed yesterday because of rain and stuff like that. I had to run to the stadium, pull the tarp off with the rest of the front office staff. The responsibilities that no one tells you you're going to have whenever you get a job with responsibilities. But I hope that everyone is having themselves a great day so far. Sports happened this weekend, huh? I didn't know. Like I all I watched was nothing but soccer. The World Cup has been super interesting. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the H in Michael stands for huge soccer guy. So I didn't watch anything but soccer this entire weekend. And it's also amazing that, you know, we still have the NBA finals coming up. We still have the Stanley Cup final coming up. I can't wait to see what the Spurs do with the Knicks, and I can't wait to see what the Vegas Golden Knights do with the Carolina Hurricane. It's nothing bad has happened to me just yet. It's not like I've had two teams lose a championship within 24 hours of each other. That didn't happen to me at all this weekend. I'm still looking forward to that. It was just a bad dream. It was a nightmare. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen as the NBA finals tip off tonight. Let's see how that goes. I can't wait to see what happens in game one. I legitimately was just befuddled. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Mike, you had said for a while, because I did, that the youth and inexperience of the San Antonio Spurs was going to come back and get them. And it did. Tommy's saying denial just is not just a river in Egypt 1,000%. I am in 1,000,000% denial mode. But again, it's one of those things where I don't want to do I told you guys this is going to happen. Like, I'm hedging my bets, hardening my heart for what the inevitable is going to be. But I did. We kind of knew this was going to happen. The San Antonio Spurs youth, I had told you was going to eventually get them. I didn't want it to happen in the finals, but it happened in the finals. And again, this is a great story for the city of New York. For the Knicks to win a championship is amazing, right? Like I love seeing, because basketball is king in New York City. So the Knicks, not the Nets, but just the Knicks winning a championship means so much to the city of New York. Wish it didn't happen at the expense of my favorite team. That's all, right? You know what I mean? And the same thing like Carolina Hurricanes. I've got love for North Carolina. Lived in North Carolina for a few years. Was happy to see that North Carolina wins a championship. Again, not at the expense of my team, not at the expense of the team that I like. Now, they could have done this against anyone else. Somebody had asked me the other day, right? Like, because in all honesty, I didn't get to really watch the San Antonio Spurs game because we had a soccer game at the stadium. I was producing the soccer game. You can go back, watch it on ESPN Plus. You can hear the commentator at the end of the game say, our producer, Mike Tipton. So it's hard for me to be able to watch the game while I'm producing a game, right? But I knew, because the amount of updates I was getting from people, letting me know what the score was. Also, don't do that to somebody. If they tell you that they want to watch the game later, like I muted all the alerts on my phone. I did all that. Like, I don't tell somebody. We know what's going to happen eventually. Don't do that to us. But I go through, I do all the things that I'm supposed to do, and I get the alerts like, oh, hey, this is what's going on. This is the score. The Spurs were up by 15 or 16. I can't remember which one it was. And they choked away the lead again. And I sat here and I thought to myself, wow, the Spurs had the lead by double digits or more in the second half of every single game of the NBA Finals. But they couldn't close the door. For whatever issue it was, they just couldn't close the door. It's because of youth, right? Like, again, dumb decision-making. De'Aaron Fox, you expected better from him. I get that he's become the scapegoat. Shouldn't have been the scapegoat, right? It takes a whole team effort to blow leads like that. It's not just De'Aaron Fox's fault. Someone was like, and I'm sure I haven't heard from Augustine yet, but if Augustine joins in, he's going to be like, oh, Wemby needs to step up. 19 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, 6 assists in an elimination game. Maybe you want more points from him, but that's a solid-ass performance. It was just the Knicks were the better overall team. And I said that going into this NBA Finals, right? Like, people were saying it's going to be either San Antonio or Oklahoma City. That's going to be the champion of the West. No, the Knicks were really good. The Cavs, I thought, were really good, and the Knicks absolutely destroyed them. The funniest thing about it is in the first round of the playoffs, the Atlanta Hawks got 2 wins over the New York Knicks, and then they lost a single game after that. They were really damn good. Really damn good. Tommy's saying Wemby wasn't clutch in some moments. Oh, I agree 100%. I agree 1,000% on that one. Like, there were some missed free throws there, but again, I know the other day whenever we spoke about this, Tommy, that you thought that I was talking about like a Michael Jordan thing, right? Like, I was there. How are they going to bounce back? Wemby's going to be that kind of guy that bounces back. No. What I was talking about was more the 2013 San Antonio Spurs, where they lose to Miami. Manu Ginobili goes to the free throw line. I want to say 30 seconds left, misses 2 free throws. Kawhi Leonard then goes to the free throw line with, I want to say, about 20 seconds or so left, misses 2 free throws. Miami gets the ball, pushes, misses a shot. Bosh taps it out over to Ray Allen. Ray Allen hits the 3. Overtime. Heat win Game 6. Heat go on and win Game 7. And a lot of people forget that in Game 7, Duncan has the ball right by the rim and misses just a little bunny, a little half hook. Missed that one 3 feet in front of the rim, which would have iced the game for the Spurs. Spurs wind up losing that series. And the way they bounced back in 2014, right? Best record in the West. Dominated the Western Conference in the playoffs. Get into the NBA Finals and wind up having one of the largest margins of victory on average in an NBA Finals, in NBA Finals history, right? That's the type of bounce back that I was looking for. It's not the Jordan comparison, the Kobe comparison. We are way too early on that stuff. I know that we had a guest on Fire and Ice that had said if Wemby stays healthy, he could go down as the greatest of all time. You all know me. I hate doing that stuff. I feel like it's way too early. We shouldn't crown somebody before they've done anything because we've seen a ton of busts in sports history. It's just one of the things that happens all the time. I'm not going to say Wemby's a bust, but if Wemby gets hurt next year and that's the end of that, then yeah. Tommy laughing, giving me the face palm emoji. I want to see what happens. I've got two things here. If the Spurs can bounce back next year and be on the type of tear that they were on this year, let this motivate them. And they're able to bounce back and, dominate the Western Conference. Make it back to the NBA Finals. If they're able to do that, awesome. If they miss the playoffs next year, because something like this can be extremely back-breaking as well. If they miss the playoffs next year, you really have to consider blowing it up, right? Getting rid of De'Aaron Fox, getting rid of, all these other guys that you don't necessarily need. Wemby's going to be up for an extension, so I believe they're probably going to try to get that extension done as soon as they can. Dylan Harper has proven that he can get more of a role. So what do you do with like those larger money contracts? Do you try to go out and get somebody this offseason, right? I would have said go out and get Giannis, but I don't think I want to get Giannis. You know what I mean? I was making a joke, go out and get LeBron. I don't think I want LeBron. I want another veteran who can calm the team down. And I was talking to one of my friends the other day, Sal Montes, Salmo IV, if you listen to Sports Talk 600 ESPN El Paso, Sal Montes. And he made a great point to me. Said if Chris Paul was still there, maybe that would have been the thing to help the Spurs out. And I really had to think about that because I know that the Chris Paul thing, as he's never won a championship, he's not good enough to win a championship, blah, 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 blah. But that veteran presence, being on the floor, being a ball handler who knows how to deal with pressure, that was what was killing the Spurs. And maybe, being able to facilitate and do the things like that, maybe that's what they needed. I didn't want the Spurs to move on from Chris Paul this year. I understood why they did, but I really wanted them to keep him simply for that veteran presence. I like Harrison Barnes. Couldn't care less about Mason Plumlee or Bismack Biyombo or Kelly Olynyk, right? Like I don't care about those guys. Yes, you get depth along the front court, cool, but you wanted somebody there. It felt like they needed somebody there to help keep the ship right. And again, I don't want to take anything away from the Knicks. The Knicks were the best team in the playoffs by far. You lost 3 total games in the playoffs. You would not have been eliminated in any round of the playoffs with all your losses combined. Like they dominated this playoff. But there's a lot of what ifs if you're a San Antonio Spurs fan. And I hate living in the world of what if. Y'all know that about me. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But we got to see what happens next year. How do they bounce back next year? Somebody asked me whenever the game was over, one of my staff. She comes over to me. She's smirking because they all love whenever I'm in pain for whatever reason. And she's like, is this the saddest day of your life? And I was like, I've buried my mother, my brother, and my daughter. Of course this is the saddest day of my life. No, it's not. You all know me. I don't let sports dictate my mood. Maybe I should. Maybe I should be one of those sports fans, right? Like super annoying. But no, I don't play the game, right? Well, I don't play for the team. I don't have an impact on the outcome. I wasn't in the arena. I wasn't in any of that stuff, right? Like I'm just some dude who likes a basketball team. That basketball team lost. Damn, that sucks. You know what they've done the majority of my life? Not win a championship. Ray saying, good morning. Please don't be one of those fans. LOL. No, 1,000%. 1,000%. Like, it's, again, like I look at the law of averages, right? I've seen the San Antonio Spurs win a championship 5 times. 5. My oldest son was 2 years old, about to be 2 years old, the last time the Spurs won a championship. Would I like the Spurs to win a championship for him, like now that he's cognizant, now that my youngest son is also cognizant? Of course I would love that. Like, it would be nothing more than to be happy with something like that. However, as far as I'm concerned, I'm content, dude. Again, 21, 22 straight seasons of making the playoffs, 20, seasons plus of 50 or more wins. I've got nothing to complain about. Genuinely, I don't. They lost in the NBA Finals. Okay, that sucks. They've been to the finals 7 times in my life. I'm 41. Or 42. Jesus Christ, I forgot how old I am. But that means 35 years out of my life, they haven't made it to the finals, and 37 years out of my life, they've lost, not won a championship. Right? Like it's law of averages, man. I don't like, I get it. People want to drink your tears whenever you're sad. It's all that. Tommy said, because of you, I didn't go on social media and make fun of Spurs fans. Hey, I love that, man. I appreciate that. I got nothing but love for you, my dude. I know it had to be difficult for you. Ray saying, I have a pet peeve whenever people talk about the team they root for and say, we won a championship. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Tommy saying, you don't understand how annoying my friends and family are with the Spurs. No, I totally get that. Again, man, I totally get that. I understand fandom. I think I say it sometimes too, like whenever I say it, I mean it like as fans, right? Like there's nothing wrong with the we part of the team, right? Like they own the team or play for them, haha, is what Ray says. The Ray anti-sports jargon, I guess, is what it would be. I say we. I don't find anything wrong with that because you are emotionally invested in the product, right? Like, again, the psychological aspect of the way that sports is. The reason why people root for sports as hardcore as they do, the reason why we like sports as much as we do, is because it fills an emotional void that we have that needs to have that presence in it. It is us supplementing the feel good we get from sports for something that is missing in our lives. So whenever people are a little more invested in it than, let's say, you and I are, we can't necessarily hate on them all that much because there's something there psychologically that is connecting them emotionally and mentally to whatever sports franchise it is that they root for. So I'm fine with people that have the we whenever it comes to like sports, because again, it is one of those things, right? And this is what I love about the sports community is the ability to say, I was there. I witnessed that. Whenever you're in a bar, right? Like, and your team wins a championship and you get to celebrate with other fans. I think that's super cool, right? Obviously not something I've been able to do in quite some time. I think it was 2009, the last time I got to celebrate with some fans. And it was whenever the Yankees won the World Series against the Phillies. Great job, Yanks. I was in Alaska by myself. No one cares about hockey in El Paso, so I was watching the Vegas Golden Knights win a championship by myself. It's that communal feeling, right? Of, oh, wow, this is going to get deeper than I intended it to. But in a world where we feel alone the majority of the time, even if we're surrounded by other people, for that brief moment in time, whenever your team wins a championship and you get to celebrate with other people, it really does kind of put things in perspective of maybe I'm not so alone today. And ultimately, that's the best part about what sports fandom is. And then on the flip side of that, you lose, right? Like you go through the toughest time watching your team lose. you have a community of people there that are going through it with you. You're not going through it alone, right? That to me is what I love the most. And a lot of people don't know this about me, but I did want to do sports psychology before I did any of this radio stuff. Like I love the psychology of sports from the athlete's perspective, from the fan perspective, and then from all of the breakdown perspectives of it whenever you look at, the way that the media portrays specific athletes and stuff like that. So I do love the psychology of sports. I know that's a little deeper than what I normally do on the show. My apologies for it, but I love the people that say we. Ray saying, my bad. That's true. I didn't think of it that way. No need to apologize, my dude. We're cool with it. We are cool with it. 2009 was a great year. I'm trying to think. Ray, you are a Lakers fan, right? Yeah. So Lakers won a championship 09. That was the first of the back-to-back championships for the LA Lakers at that point in time. Tommy says, one day we will celebrate the boys' Super Bowl win together, Tip. Hey, maybe this year. I texted my friends the other day because, again, going through the emotions. I watched in 24 hours, again, a rough 24 hours for your boy, the San Antonio Spurs lose in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and then in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final, my Vegas Golden Knights also lose. Saturday, Sunday, less than 24 hours apart from one another is how this happened. I just texted my friends and was like, dude, this is rough. We're having a conversation back and forth, and then it popped in my mind, oh, my God, 2 years ago, Game 5 for the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, fumbling the ball around, doing all that stuff. The Yankees lose a championship 2 years. So what that means is in the last 2 seasons, 2 years, I've had 3 teams that I cheer for lose in the championship. Thank God the Dallas Cowboys never give me hope, because it would be their thing to do it next. I hope and pray that maybe one day the Dallas Cowboys will be good enough to maybe win something. But as of right now, thank you, Dallas Cowboys, for being absolute dog shit and not giving me any hope at all. Ray also saying, yes, sir. Oh, yeah, my daughter was born as well. Hey, that's awesome. That is cool, man. So she would be, Jesus Christ, I'm old. She's going to be 17 this year. Jericho was born in 2012. He's going to be 14 in August. We had, for any of my Socorro friends that are watching this is going to be a trigger warning for you. We had a ceremony for Jericho, my oldest son, who got accepted to a program, the Synergy program at Montwood High School. So accelerated learning, all that good stuff. Was accepted to it, had a program that he had to do last week. We go on Wednesday or Thursday for a pinning ceremony where they accept him into this program at Montwood High School. But Montwood High School was Socorro's biggest rival whenever I was a kid, back whenever Socorro was halfway decent at sports. And it just felt dirty being in Montwood High School. But I'm like, I will do anything for my kids. So here I am inside this dilapidated building. I'm trying to be mean, but I can't because I don't want my son to think bad about his high school. But just know, that's how much I love you, son, Jericho. That's how much I love you. That I'm okay with you being at Montwood High School. I'm going to have to, I have to join. I don't have to, I want to join a parents alumni association thing at Montwood High School. But before I do that, I'm going to join whatever the alumni association is at Socorro High School. And if they don't have one, I am going to create an alumni association at Socorro High School. I cannot join another school's alumni association other than UTEP, where I graduated from. But I can't join another high school's alumni association without doing my own high school's alumni association. Now, who knows? Maybe one day they get a broadcasting program. It becomes like the Mike Tipton School of Broadcasting, where I teach kids not to do what I do, be better than me, have more personality. You'll never sound as sexy as this guy does. Also, Ray, I did want to let you know I got your email, the work email. I will send you something else so we can work on some stuff. Maybe we get you in the building a couple of times this week and have ourselves a good old time. Oh. But there you go, guys. Like you got to drink my tears for a little bit. Both teams that I love and support have lost a championship in less than 24 hours. You throw the Yankees in there. I've got 3 teams that have lost a championship in 2 years. Again, thank you, Dallas Cowboys, for never, ever, ever giving me hope. What is it? Since 1996, they've been at 500 or just around 500. Thank you, Dallas Cowboys. You know what? A lot of teams out there, a lot of fans out there want to feel the highest highs, have to go through the lowest lows. Not us. Not us as Dallas Cowboys fans. You know what we do? We know this team is going to be mediocre. They might be 12-5 one season. Fuck, the next season, they're going to be 5-12. So what happened? It all balanced out. You look for the yin and the yang in sports, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Are you tired of riding the emotional roller coaster as a fan? Come. We will embrace you. As Dallas Cowboys fans, we will embrace you. Arms wide open, like Creed said. With arms wide open under the Jerry Dome. Oh, that's so stupid. I can't believe I just sang like that on this show. I sing a lot, so I can't mess around with it. But yes, you've drank my tears long enough. I'm not as sad as most people would expect me to be. Again, it is what it is. Sports are sports. The world moves on. I just wish that they would have done better, but we get to see it right now. It's just the tip of their greatness.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just a Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Guys, the summer is here. It's nasty. It's sticky outside. Get that comfort cream, slather it all over your boys, and make sure that you are feeling as comfortable as I am. I've got to walk around a stadium doing stairs all day long, 20,000 steps a day almost. And I am comfortable the entire time. You know why? Because of www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Save on all of your male grooming needs. Augustine says, thank goodness for headphones at the office. Augustine, I am glad that you got those headphones at the office. I am also glad that maybe the Brendan Sorsby saga is finally over and we can actually just get back to the normal stuff that we can have. In a surprising twist, Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby now intends to enter the NFL supplemental draft ahead of the 2026 season, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel. Sorsby admitted to placing bets on a variety of sports and completed inpatient rehab for a gambling addiction. The NCAA has denied his request for reinstatement in May, but a Texas judge granted him a temporary injunction earlier this June, making him eligible for the 2026 college football season. But amid a Big 12 lawsuit against Texas Tech and backlash around his eligibility, Sorsby ultimately opted to head to the NFL. The NFL hasn't had a supplemental draft since 2023, and no one has been selected in one since 2019, when the Cardinals picked safety Jalen Thompson with a 5th-round bid. The last quarterback to enter the supplemental draft was Terrell Pryor, who was a 3rd-round bid in 2011 for the Raiders. The league still needs to approve Sorsby's application for there to be a 2026 supplemental draft, which would take place sometime later this summer. There's obviously a lot of questions yet to be answered. How did we get here, and how does the supplemental draft even work? What is Sorsby's value, and which team might Be active. That's a weird sentence for them to write. We tagged 8 experts to answer blah, 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 blah. Okay. Brendan Sorsby. But before I get to that, Augustine wants to say, are the Spurs the biggest choke job in NBA Finals history? And I ask because the leads they built in the first 2 quarters of the games and then losing. I could understand why you would say that. Like the Spurs, obviously, again, mentioned this a little bit earlier. They led by double digits in the second half of every single game in the NBA Finals and only found a way to win one, which is insanity. Right? So, yeah, there is a little bit of a choke job there. But flip side again, the Miami Heat, that first season with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, steamrolling through the Eastern Conference, steamrolling through the Eastern Conference Finals, getting to the NBA Finals and just getting dominated by Dirk Nowitzki. That's a team that because again, like you, maybe I think of things a little bit different, right? Maybe I look at it from a different perspective. The Spurs are super young. I kind of expected them to not know how to close games out, right? I said it all playoffs long. I expected this to happen eventually. I just didn't want it to be as public as what, like, this happens in the Western Conference Final. Everyone's like, whatever. Happens in the NBA Final, woof, dude. And of course, you deserve it. You did choke. Not saying they did not choke. They choked. Someone get them some water. They choked. But whenever you have all the level of expectation that the Miami Heat had, that's got to be on there, man. I think about that 04 Lakers team, the last Shaq and Kobe team that had Karl Malone, that had Gary Payton on it, that was just stacked up with Hall of Famers that wound up just getting beat down by the Detroit Pistons. That one I think of as like a huge choke job because, again, with the entire season. Then you've got to look at also 2016, right? The 73-9 Golden State Warriors running roughshod through the entire playoffs, having a 3-1 series lead, and then losing that to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sure, you won the most games in the regular season in NBA history, but then you don't cap it with a championship. That's a huge choke job. So, yes, the Spurs choked, but I wouldn't say it's the biggest choke in NBA Finals history, dude. Like, that's it'll be up there, but I just gave you 3 right now that you've got to at least kind of scratch your head about because, again, nobody expected the Spurs to be here. Even as a Spurs fan, the entirety of the playoffs, I was like, we're playing with house money, right? I mean, you were talking about, like, I thought you were just talking about NBA Finals. That's my bag. My bad. Augustine says, I think the biggest choke job in history is my Patriots, a chance to go undefeated. Then the Super Bowl comes, LOL. I guess if we're looking all time, yeah, the Patriots have to be on there. The Falcons have to be on there against the Patriots. Look at that. The Patriots being on both sides of the coin here. The 04 Yankees, we always got to bring up that 04 Yankees team. 3-0 against the Red Sox in the ALCS. Well, I guess that's not a final, though. I was thinking about the Cubs, too, like the Bartman Cubs. But that's not a final. That's not a championship. Yeah. I mean, if we're going hardcore back in the day, right, then the Baltimore Colts with Johnny Unitas losing to the New York Jets, I believe it was, with Joe Namath, the guarantee, right? Because everyone thought that the NFL was far superior to the AFL. What was the AFL? Whatever. Those, like, you know, whenever they still had the leagues kind of separated before they had the real merger that happened. So the Colts losing to the Jets. I want to say it was the Jets. I got to figure that out. That doesn't seem right to me because now they're in the same division. It was the Baltimore Colts. Look at me. in 1969. I'm sure there's got to be like a Celtics Lakers thing on here as well from like way back in the way back. But I guess if we're talking like modern history where, you know, people can still write and remember things and it's not in black and white, then yeah, the Patriots have to be on that list. They got to be near the top of the list, both as winners and losers of the championship game. And again, like I know it sounds like I'm trying to defend the Spurs whenever I say I don't think it's a huge choke job. Don't get me wrong, it is an absolute choke job. But I feel like I'm just trying to go through like the pantheon of you know, NBA Finals lore. Maybe it's top 5. It's got to be on the top 5. But I feel like we've always had like some teams that have been really damn good that just haven't won a championship. The Miami Heat, again, like that Heat losing to the Dallas Mavericks one is always going to stick out to me. The Lakers losing to the Pistons is always going to stick out to me. I want to see if I can get in my bag real quick. NBA champions since 2000. Looking at like the way these went. Lakers, Pacers, Lakers, Nets, Lakers, Sixers, Spurs, Nets, Lakers, Pistons. That we could say was an upset. Spurs, Pistons, that was fun. Mavs and Heat. If I'm not mistaken, the Mavs had some leads late in those games too, but wound up, I don't know if it was necessarily a huge choke job, but wound up losing those series to the Heat. That was the Heat's first championship, Shaq and Dwayne Wade. 07, the Spurs and the Cavs outmatched 1,000%. 08, the Celtics and was it the Lakers? Did the Lakers make 3 straight NBA finals? I want to say it was the Celtics and the Lakers. That was fun. Then again, the Lakers and the Magic. The Lakers and the Celtics again. Mavs and Heat. Heat, Thunder, Heat, Spurs. Heat, Spurs. Was 15 the Warriors? 15 was the Warriors. Who did they beat? Because it had to be a really weak Eastern Conference. Was it the Cavs? Did they beat the Cavs? Like, I know they played the Cavs a lot in the NBA Finals. I had to think about that one. I know 16 is definitely the Cavs and the Warriors. 17 might also be the Cavs and the Warriors now that I'm thinking about it. But I feel like 18 was also the Cavs and the Warriors. I know they only played each other 3 times. Why can't I think of who it was? I'm not gonna look it up right now because I don't want to see. I'm doing this for myself now. It's just a dude naming teams, right? 19 was the Warriors and the Raptors. The Raptors won that one. The Warriors were favored, but of course, Klay Thompson got hurt. Kevin Durant got hurt with the Achilles thing. The Raptors win their championship, so good for them. 2020, obviously COVID year, I want to say it was Heat and Lakers. Lakers win the championship there. 21. That's wild that it's closer, and I am drawing a blank for 2021. Is that the Bucks year? That is the Bucks year. Wow. Yeah. Because the Warriors win again in 22. The Nuggets win in 23. The Celtics win in 25, I want to say. Yeah. Maybe I'm messing something up. Maybe you can help me out here, Kamish. But hey, I mean, 26 seasons having like 2 mess ups on it, that ain't bad. Especially for not even preparing for this thing. So now I'm going to go back and look and see what this is. And of course, I'm sure this is riveting as people just look at the useless basketball knowledge. That I have. How you doing, Kamish? Hope that everything is well for you. Augustine, I've been watching some World Cup. Been very interested in things that are going on with the World Cup. Oh, that is right. So it is Celtics, Thunder, and now Knicks. Hey, so 21 was Milwaukee. Look at me. Look at me. So who was it in 15? Holy shit, it was the Cavaliers. So it was the Warriors and the Cavaliers 4 straight years. Again, impressive that LeBron James has been to the NBA Finals as many times as he's been. But the amount of times that LeBron James has lost in the NBA Finals is utterly ridiculous. And the fact that he was in 8 straight NBA Finals is equally as ridiculous. Ray saying that Spain game was crazy. Tommy saying, I'm not watching any soccer. I will refuse to watch soccer. I will not. The world's game, not my game. Not my game. The commission LBJ does have a lot of silver medals. Yeah, he does, man. Like, that's what I wanted to look at right now. So the amount of times that he's lost. The Spurs, the Mavs, the Spurs again, the Warriors, the Warriors, the Warriors. So he's 1-4, lost 6. And again, not shitting on him. It takes a lot because we know he carried the corpse of some teams to some NBA finals. Right? Like that 07 NBA finals where it was the overmatched Cavaliers versus the Spurs. Again, the Spurs juggernaut in their prime at that time. Man, that was a long prime. The Spurs juggernaut. The commission, not a resume that says GOAT. I think I might have an argument for you. Because Wilt Chamberlain lost 4 as well, right? Like he lost 4. I get it. LeBron lost more. But Wilt was considered a GOAT and lost a lot of NBA finals. Overall record in the NBA finals is 16-19 for his games. Augustine saying LeBron will never be the GOAT. He is the GOAT of that generation, right? And again, like I hate this conversation because and I'm the one who started it, clearly. I shouldn't have. I should have seen where this was going. June-ass radio topic is what this is. Augustine saying there's at least 10 players in front. That is a wild-ass list. Okay, Augustine, you did it. You got to let me know all 10. I know you can make a case for Jordan. Maybe you make a case for Kobe. I'm dumbfounded as to who would be, because I always thought it was definitive that, like, especially our generation, I think a lot of other generations, it would be Jordan 1, LeBron 2. I always thought it was that, right? But to say that LeBron's not even top 10 is wild. Do you even basketball, bro? Like I'm trying to figure out what, like, I know you're doing a thing, but normally whenever you do a thing, you're a little more controlled than that. Like I would have expected you to say 5, right? And then I can make an argument like, okay, we can say Jordan, Kobe, maybe we put Shaq in there, Maybe we put Wilt Chamberlain in there. Maybe we put Steph Curry in there, right? Like there's 5 that we can maybe do. Destiny saying that Kobe is way above LeBron. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Mainly because, yes, Kobe has a championship more than LeBron, but LeBron, again, statistically, the greatest to ever do it. The thing that saves Jordan in my mind when you look at all the LeBron stats and stuff like that is whenever Jordan retired, he was number 3 all time in scoring and played a total of 15 seasons. LeBron is number 1 all time in scoring and played a total of 23 seasons. So obviously you're going to have a lot more seasons there. Jordan maximized his window, LeBron not so much. But again, 8 straight finals is wild. I'm not arguing that Kobe wasn't great, but to say that he's that word way, right? 3 letters, but doing a lot of heavy lifting. He's way better than that. I don't know, man. I do not know. Destiny saying, remember what we spoke about the other day? LeBron tried to make his own super team. The others worked with what they had. The Lakers were a super team that was built on trades. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that the Lakers that won their first three-peat were built specifically on trades. Shaq was traded to them. Glenn Rice was traded to them. Horace Grant was traded to them. I'm trying to think of that entire roster. I know they drafted Derek Fisher. Kobe was traded to them, but that was on draft day. Robert Horry was traded to them. Thinking of like all the guys that played on them, Eldon Campbell was drafted by them, but I think he was already gone by the time they won the championship. I think he was a part of that Kobe trade, now that I'm thinking about it. The commission saying Kobe is the closest clone to MJ. He's number 2 in my eyes, and I can see that. I can see that, right? I can see you saying that Kobe is slightly better than LeBron, and I will not fight you on that at all. But whenever you say the word way, they're way better than them. That's a lot of heavy lifting. And it means that it has to be absolutely definitive, beyond any measure at all, that this player is exponentially better than this other player, right? Like I can sit here and say Tom Brady is a way better quarterback than Troy Aikman, and that is factual, right? But if I were to say that Tony Romo is a way better quarterback than Troy Aikman because of stats, now I have my caveat. Like, yes, but I've got to prove that he's better, right? Like now the burden of definition, the burden of proof is on me. Think of it like a courtroom, right? I say that Romo is way better than Aikman. I have all the stats to back me up, but you know what Aikman has? Rings. But I do think that Romo is a better statistical quarterback than Troy Aikman. I've said that a million times. It's always my caveat. Statistically is a better quarterback than Troy Aikman is. The commish saying, give me Bird over LBJ as well. Pure shooter, scorer, wasn't horrible on D. If I'm not mistaken, LeBron James has like 20,000 more points than Larry Bird has. Let's look at this. I am. I love whenever I have like ad blocker on my internet browser, and every time I go to like Basketball Reference or NFL Reference, it's like, do you want to continue without supporting us? And it's like, yes, of course I do. Okay, so where is our guy Larry Bird at? Larry Bird is number 45 all time with 21,791 career points. LeBron James, obviously number 1 all time with 43,440. Doubles. Larry Bird. I get it. Larry Bird was a great scorer. But. And you say that he was also what now? And then, like, you got to look at LeBron on the other lists because he's close to the top of the rebounding lists and close to the top of the assist list, right? Like, again, let's not take anything away from what LeBron James has done. LeBron James is great, guys. Dude played like 23 years. Of course his stats are better than everyone's. Again, okay, why was that not brought up when Kareem played 22? Kareem played 22 years. His numbers were so great, but everyone's like, oh my God, Kareem was great. Again, I will make the argument that Kareem was great as well, right? Like that's undisputable, indisputable. Think about that. A quarter of a century. He better have all the records. No, but just, and I get what you're saying, Augustine. I'll get to that. I'm just going through some of the comments real quick. Ray saying, sorry, Kobe is a teeny tiny bit better than LeBron. Troy Aikman had a better supporting cast is what Augustine is saying. No one is saying LeBron isn't good. We are arguing that simply put, he isn't the GOAT. And I agree with you. I don't think he's the GOAT. I agree with you. I don't think he's the GOAT, and he never will be, is what Augustine says. But to say that Larry Bird is better than LeBron is wild to me, man. And again, I get it. We can talk about how long Tommy's saying LeBron James is overrated. No one is calling Kareem the GOAT. A lot of, oh my God, my dude. Again, this is all very, very biased here because it was Jordan trying to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the greatest of all time because Kareem surpassed Wilt Chamberlain as the greatest of all time because of the amount of MVPs that he won, the amount of titles that he won, Kareem being the scoring champion of all time as he passed Wilt Chamberlain. Right? Like, I am befuddled at all this. Like how quickly we just get a recency bias on things. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the greatest of all time. And he was called the greatest of all time for the longest time until Jordan took that mantle from him. And again, I'm not arguing that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. But to say that he's not in your top 5 is just, you don't know ball. Like very few people would even put Larry Bird as a top 10 all-time NBA player now. I know that sounds like sacrilege to a lot of people, but there have been so many people that have come through the NBA now that are better than what Larry Bird could have ever thought he could have been, right? Because again, not in any particular order, and maybe again, I've got to get this list actually going, but you've got Jordan, you've got Kobe, you've got Shaq, you've got Wilt Chamberlain, you've got Magic Johnson, you've got Steph Curry, who you've got to put in there. You've got Nikola Jokic, who you have to put in there. If you're not putting Jokic in this top 10, you do not know basketball. Like, there's so many other names. And to say that LeBron is on the outside looking in because of Larry Bird is absurd. Exactly, Tommy. I'm with you on that one. At the time, he was the GOAT. Now it's MJ. I think we all agree. Jordan is the GOAT. But again, to say that LeBron James isn't a top 10 player all time, again, you don't know ball. But have they done what Bird has done? What did Bird do? You talk about super teams. Were the Celtics not a super team? Maybe they drafted a couple of guys, but they also had to make trades. Robert Parrish wasn't drafted as a Celtic. Kevin McHale was. Dennis Johnson wasn't drafted as a Celtic. Danny Ainge wasn't drafted as a Celtic. Bill Walton wasn't drafted as a Celtic. There's a lot of guys on those Celtics championship teams from back in the day, in the 80s, that were traded to the Celtics, right? A lot of teams are built that way. Like if you look at a team that might have drafted a lot of guys and won championships in the 80s, it was the Lakers, right? Drafted Worthy, drafted Rambis, drafted Magic, drafted Michael Cooper. I'm trying to think of like all the other people that were on that team. I know they traded for Kareem, but I mean, there's always been trades and super teams being built. Always in the history of the game, right? We look at the 91 to 93 Bulls with rose-colored lenses because we say, oh, that team did it right. Like they built this team from the ground up. Yes. They drafted Jordan. They drafted Pippen. They drafted Horace Grant. They traded for John Paxson. They traded for Bill Cartwright. 40% of their starting roster was traded for. Trades happen. That's how teams are able to sustain and do those things. Ashley saying, Tip over here spitting rhymes. Now I got to figure out what rhyme I was spitting. Honestly, the more years that LeBron puts in, the least I'm impressed I get with his number. Sorry, not sorry. I agree. I like now it's just like stat padding, right? But again, there hasn't been a huge drop-off in production from LeBron James. Yes, Pippen was part of it, but again, like I'm not saying draft day trades to me aren't real trades. We're talking about like other things, right? You still have to go through and draft that player. You still have to go through and do whatever it is that you got to do because you think that player on draft day is going to do something for your team. That's why I said like the Lakers, yes, they traded for Kobe on draft day, but he was a Laker his entire career. Well, the 10 minutes that he was a Charlotte Hornet, we should all be like, oh no, Kobe, not a lifelong Laker. He was a Laker. I love this conversation. I hate that I have to end the show though. But I got to do what I got to do, y'all. Hey, I want to thank everyone so much for the love and support. I know it was a tough weekend for just my radio family. We all met up this weekend at King's X, and we had ourselves a great time saying goodbye to our friend David. And as difficult as it was just awesome to hear some of the amazing stories about that guy, the amazing life that he lived. And I am beyond happy that we were able to get together as a group. I hate that it took something like this for us to get together as a group, but I hope that the next time we do it, it isn't because of something tragic, and we just do it because that's what you should do. Tommy's saying they traded for role players, not superstars. Well, that's because free agency wasn't a thing. As long as free agency has been around, they've been able to do that. And the Bulls did trade for a superstar named Dennis Rodman. We forget about that. And if you tell me Dennis Rodman wasn't a superstar, you're drunk. Because even in Chicago, I think the name Dennis Rodman was more synonymous with a lot of other stuff and more in pop culture than maybe Michael Jordan was for a small period of time, just because of how crazy and outlandish Dennis Rodman was. God, I miss those days. The Spurs never trade for superstars. Do they? Trying to think when was the last time the Spurs traded for a superstar. I would have thought it was De'Aaron Fox, but De'Aaron Fox apparently doesn't know how to play basketball in the last 2 minutes of a game whenever it comes down to winning a championship. I'm not salty at all. I just got to leave before I start yelling.